All right, looks like we have 5 attendees. Welcome, this is kindergarten back to school night. We'll wait a little bit just to let some other people join because I'm sure we're gonna have some more people, or maybe that's just, let me see if I can get a list here. All right, we'll get started. Welcome to Nottingham's Back to School Night. If you are here, you're going to be hearing about the kindergarten teachers and this kindergarten experience this year at Nottingham. I am Mark Jones. I am a school counselor here at Nottingham, and I'm going to moderate the program. I'll just let you know who else is participating, and they will come on in a certain order as we go through the evening. But Lisa Mathis Barnett, another kindergarten teacher, is here. Laura Moore, a kindergarten teacher, Mountain Goats, is here. And Laura Babechko, a kindergarten teacher, is here for the Sea Turtles and filling in while Katie Beachman is out on leave right now. And we also have Dina Lewin, who's a special ed teacher here. And Dr. Lynch, our assistant principal, and Dr. Gardner, our principal, may be popping in and out, but we will be hearing from them through a recorded video. So the order of things is that first Ms. Moore will speak, and she will start a video where Dr. Gardner and then Dr. Lynch and then me, Mark Jones, will speak and sort of introduce the year to you. Then the kindergarten teachers will each go through a slideshow and explain the kindergarten year. You are welcome to post questions at any time. The questions will not be public to everyone, but I will see them. And at the end, we will ask the questions either just as written, or I may paraphrase if they're similar to other questions that have written. Remember, when this is over at 8 o'clock, there is still more to come with the PTA board meeting and news about the PTA and their expectations for the coming year. So we will get started without further ado with Laura Moore, and she will kick off the slideshow.
All right, thank you, Mr. Jones. Welcome, kindergarten families, to Back to School Night. We're going to start off the night with a message from Dr. Gardner and Dr. Lynch.
Hi, everybody, and welcome to the 2021 Nottingham Back to School Night. I'm Eileen Gardner, Nottingham's principal. A special welcome to our kindergarten families and those who've joined us from around the world, the country, and even in Virginia, who are new to Nottingham. It's a great place for your children to learn, thanks to our great staff and all of you. We really appreciate everyone's patience and perseverance as we return to in-person learning. Thank you for your never-ending kind words, support, and feedback as we work out the kinks and issues to make sure everyone's set up for success. Teachers did take some time this summer for some rest and relaxation, and they've come back more rejuvenated and energetic than ever. Teacher teams have collaborated closely with our coaches and instructional support staff to provide you with consistent quality instruction, make sure that your children are in great hands. We are acutely aware that the social emotional needs of our students need to be addressed. Weekly lessons with our counselors, as well as individual and small group support, are available throughout the year. Please don't hesitate to reach out to our fabulous support staff, Mark Jones and Kellen Bisbee, our counselors, Maggie Ryan, our social worker, or Maggie DeSira, our school psychologist, who are more than happy to help you address the social, emotional, or mental health needs of your students. The Office of Academics has been working closely with our teachers to determine how we can do beginning of the year assessments, including reading, math, and writing. Fall SOL testing will be used as a brief, informative, low-stakes measure of how students are doing. Please stay tuned as we learn more about the assessments, how they'll be implemented, and when. More information will be included in the nightly news next week. For those of you who may not know this yet, the nightly news is a weekly communication from me that comes out every Tuesday with important dates, information, and updates. As we have each year, we will strive to uphold the elements of the APS School Board strategic goal. providing multiple pathways to success for all students, making sure students are healthy, safe, and supported, retaining our staff, ensuring operational excellence, and supporting strong community partnerships. Please continue to give us feedback about how your children are doing, and so we can adjust and partner with you to ensure engagement, excitement, and energy. I'd like to recognize the Nottingham PTA for their support. I encourage those of you who are new to Nottingham to find a place within its structure to get plugged in. We truly appreciate all your support. Thank you to our PTA President, Danielle Herndon, and the rest of the PTA Executive Board for all you do. We'll have our first PTA meeting tonight at 8 p.m. using the link provided. Please join us this month and every month at these very informative meetings. The link is also provided to you in the chat. On the agenda tonight is a welcome from our Assistant Principal, Dr. Megan Lynch, a message from Mr. Mark Jones, one of our counselors. And after that, you'll hear directly from the PTA President, Danielle Herndon. And then a moment you're waiting for, a chance to hear from the teaching teams directly. Each team will present just once this evening. Feel free to bounce in and out of the grade level meetings as you'd like. All of our presentations tonight will be posted to our website for you to view at your leisure. Our teachers, myself, Megan, and the rest of our support staff are always here to answer any questions that you have or to provide guidance or support in any way. I won't keep you any longer. Please enjoy your time this evening, and we look forward to seeing everyone in person at our outdoor ice cream social on this Friday, September 10th, from 3:45 to 5:45. Have a great evening, and we'll see you again at 8 o'clock for the PTA meeting. Thank you.
Good evening, everybody. Megan Lynch, Assistant Principal here. Welcome to Back to School Night. I'm so glad you could join us virtually. This year, Arlington Public Schools will continue to focus on diversity, equity, and inclusion as one of their initiatives. This pairs nicely with Nottingham's work as an inclusive model site and as a participant as a No Place for Hate school. We will continue to build a safe, welcoming community that values all learners and promotes equity and cultural competency. This year, look out for opportunities to engage with us on this topic. Starting this month with Latinx Heritage Month on September 15th and diving on into the rest throughout the year. Look out for messages in Eileen's weekly and nightly news and the students on their news broadcast on Fridays, nights at 9. We'll be sharing more information with you and with your students as the year goes on, and we look forward to continuing this important work. If you have any questions, feel free to email me or give me a call. Thanks so much. Bye.
Hi, my name is Mark Jones. I'm the full-time school counselor at Nottingham. Kellen Bisbee is also a school counselor at Nottingham, and she works at Nottingham on Tuesdays. So the role of a school counselor in an elementary school is to promote and teach social emotional skills. We do that primarily in 3 different ways. One is we go into each of the classrooms on a regular basis, teaching such things as identifying emotions, regulating uncomfortable big emotions like anger and worry and sadness, teaching about bullying prevention, teaching about how to make friends, how to keep friends, and other topics. We also meet with students individually if they want to have a conversation and counseling on a topic involving social emotional skills. They can refer themselves. You can refer your child to us, or a teacher may refer a student to us. And the third category after teaching classes and individual counseling is group counseling. Group counseling is with 3, 4, 5, 6 students. Might be at lunch, or it might be during the school day at a time agreed to by the teacher. And it's small group counseling on the topics that we cover typically in the lesson, social emotional skills. I'm also happy, as is Ms. Bisbee, to consult with you on some problem solving if you're having some challenges or your child is, and we can help you sort of talk through that and see if we can come up with some solutions. The Nottingham school website has a counseling tab which has lots of information. and I encourage you to look at that. Contact information is there, among other things, and we have a virtual calming room, which is for families, students, and staff. So check it all out. Hope to meet you soon. Bye.
Hi, Knights. My name is Danielle Herndon, and I am your PTA president. It's such a joy to serve our students, teachers, and families alongside an awesome team of parents on our executive board. Like you, we are thrilled to have our kids back in school 5 days a week, and we have all kinds of things planned to make it a great year. Since we have been apart for a while, and there are lots of new faces at our school, one of the key goals for the PTA this year is going to be connecting and uplifting our community through programs that promote enrichment, engagement, education, and fun. To make this happen, we need your help in 3 simple ways. First, join the PTA. Did you know that your PTA membership expires every year in the summertime? So you got to go to nespta.org and sign up. As a member, you will have access to the newsletter, digital calendar, online directory, spiritware store, and so much more. If you want to be in the know, this is the way to go. Second, volunteer. There are so many easy ways to help out. Take a few minutes to think about what you enjoy, what you're good at, and what makes you smile. Then, when you renew your PTA membership, fill out the volunteer form to let us know how you would like to help. Some tasks may take just a few minutes. Others could be longer-term projects. Every little bit of elbow grease makes a big difference. Plus, it's a great way to get to know people at the school. Third, chip in with cash. It takes a good amount of money to fund all the programs at the PTA supports, like STEAM enrichment, school assemblies, teacher education grants, family fun nights, classroom supplies, staff and teacher appreciation, maintaining the exploration courtyard, sock hop, Mayfest, field trips, technology grants, and more. Your financial generosity is what makes these programs happen, and there are all kinds of ways you can donate. From designating Nottingham as your charity of choice at the grocery store or on Amazon, to buying spiritware, books at the book fair, or something great at the auction. It's easy to give. I hope you'll join us tonight at 8 p.m. on Zoom to learn more about the PTA and how you can get involved. We welcome input from all members, and I promise it won't be boring. Everyone who attends will be entered to win a free Nottingham t-shirt from our spiritware collection. And I look forward to seeing everyone at the all-school ice cream social tomorrow after school. We're going to have a great year, Knights. And please remember, the PTA will be there for you.
We're here to tell you all about the PTA. Helping the school nights roll, you should join today. So many different ways to volunteer. Since we're back in school each day, we need your help to have a great year, and we'll be there for you. The PTA is the way. We'll be there for you to help learning and play. We'll be there for you because we all love this school.
All right. So once again, welcome to kindergarten back to school night. We are so excited that you are here. I want to introduce you to the K team. We are not only made up of amazing teachers, we have the best assistants in the district. We have Mrs. Barnett, Mrs. Fortin, Miss Beachman, Miss Babechko, Mrs. Duran, Mrs. Moore, Mrs. Sheehan, and Mrs. Lewin. You will see this on all of our email. You will see this when we send home our newsletters. We send home a weekly one-stop shop newsletter. This is your chance to see what's going on in the school, and if there's any important information, we try to put it here so that if you have a question, you know where to go. If you email us, sometimes we'll direct you there again. So always keep a lookout for our K newsletter. We send it out usually around Friday, Saturday. Starting at the end of September, your student will be getting a school-issued iPad. The different technology that we will be using are these apps. We will be using My Access, which is the red ribbon, Canvas, Microsoft Teams, and Clever. Once a student logs on to Clever, they have access to some fantastic apps. The three big ones we use in kindergarten are Seesaw, Dreambox, and Lexia. So as the year goes on, you'll hear your student talking about these apps. This is what you're looking for. Our daily schedule looks like this. We start the day at 9 a.m. and we dismiss at 3:41. We do have lunch and recess. Remember, that starts around 10:55, and we have snack in the afternoon. So the kindergarten day starts with students walking down the hall, coming to our classrooms, and school begins at 9 a.m. That is when instruction starts. We have daily folders that are red that students bring to and from school every day. We also have cubbies where your child will store their backpacks, lunch boxes, art smocks, whatever they have. And if they have later on as it gets colder, they can bring in a sweatshirt to store there as well. We say the Pledge of Allegiance every morning, and we also have a moment of silence. Following that, we have what's called a morning meeting. This is a chance for students to come sit on the carpet, and we have a morning message. We do a greeting where we say hello to our classmates, and we have an activity that is done as well. Now I'm going to pass it along to Mrs. Barnett to talk more about reading instruction.
Hi, everybody. Thank you for joining us tonight. We're thrilled to have you all. I'm going to be talking about the reading instruction that's taking place in Arlington this year, or at Nottingham, I should say. So we're following a structured literacy program. That means it's highly explicit and systematic approach to teaching literacy skills. Obviously with kindergarten, we're going to start with letter identification, letter sound knowledge, including the digraphs, SH, CH, TH, and WH. We will go into decoding words, high frequency words, comprehension skills. We want them to be understanding what they read. We don't make any assumptions about a child's ability to read. We do teach them to use clues and context. However, the majority of our instruction is going to focus on that reading sound by sound. Next slide, please. So there are three components really to our instruction. The first is whole group reading instruction. It's daily. It includes our phonemic awareness program, Hegarty, our phonics program, which is the 95% group, and an interactive read aloud. The read alouds are curated in-house by our ELA department. They foster critical thinking skills. They help us to encourage discussion among the students, just thinking about their reading and learning to talk about their reading. It is integrated with our content, so very often it has a science or a social studies component that we can pull in and discuss. And there's a lot of, what I like about it is there's a lot of structured play opportunities where we kind of do what kindergarten does best, and we learn through play. Next slide. The second component to our small group, or to our reading instruction, is small group reading instruction. This is also daily. It's teacher-led, a group of 3 to 6 peers, all working on the same or similar skills. Your students will see one teacher, either me or Mrs. Fortin, in my class. you will be sitting in a small group with one teacher every day. These small groups are data driven. They have targeted instruction. We use the results from DIBELS, PALS, observation. These groups are strategy based. They're not level based, so we're not going to call kids high, low, medium. We're looking at strategies, and most importantly is that they are dynamic. So your students' small groups will look different. We change them up every couple of weeks depending on what we're working on. Small group reading instruction may include handwriting without tears, targeted high frequency words. We just don't teach everybody the same high frequency words. We really look to see what your student knows and what they should be looking at. Targeted letter sound knowledge, phonemic awareness, phonics, decoding, spelling. We use connected texts. So a text that is somehow connected to the skill that we're working on. Some of us may use personal readers, which have poems. Multi-sensory instruction. We could use we use some Orton-Gillingham strategies even in our small groups. Fine motor skills is a big target, of course, in kindergarten. We're learning to print. And we often have special literacy related projects and games. Third component of our reading block is independent work. Why? Why are you going to make my kids sit there and not do anything? Well, hopefully they're not. They are participating in what we've set out for them. We believe it's important that kids learn, have firsthand knowledge, and they teach themselves. This brings on more self-esteem. It helps them to make decisions and choices. It's a change of pace from a teacher-led discussion all the time. Some things that they might be doing in an independent work would be Lexia, which we encourage them to do 20 minutes daily. They're going to be reading, looking at books. They might be doing puzzles, fine motor skill building activities, Play-Doh, all those pincer grips. We're still working on that at this age. We play more games, and dramatic play is always a big thing that we like to do. And our writing instruction, our writing block is 30 minutes. It's every day. We will work both in whole group and in small group, and again, independently during the writing instruction. It applies many of our reading skills. We have to know letter, sound, correspondence, obviously, to start writing words. The big kind of takeaway from our writing instruction is that we are, in fact, learning to put our ideas down on paper. We're going to start that with pictures. We use mentor texts as examples. We teach them to reread, to edit, and to add detail to their writing. We're also going to look at some basic punctuation, capitalization, all of that good stuff. And I think kind of the best part about writing in kindergarten is we learn to share our best writing with our friends and our family. And we have little celebrations kind of built in throughout the year where we do that. And I think, Mrs. Moore, you're going to talk about our math curriculum.
All right, yes. I am going to talk about math. I love math. We all do. All right, so in kindergarten math curriculum, we focus on counting to 100, comparing sets of objects, data collection and making graphs, writing problems, writing numbers, problem-solving skills, skipped counting, measuring, identifying and counting coins, addition and subtraction, and calendar. Just a few of the things we cover in math. So every day we start our math block with a number sense routine. Number sense routine is a chance for students to get their brains flowing, get the juices going, and get refocused into math. It's also a great chance for students to think outside the box. Three of our favorite number sense routines are which one doesn't belong. Which one doesn't belong? They look at the three pictures and they tell us which one doesn't belong. There are no wrong answers. We look for their explanations of why. We do a choral count where students are counting based off of what's coming on the screen. And then we do unit chats where they look at what they see and they tell us what they see and how they see it. We then move into whole group. Whole group ranges about 15 minutes. It includes calendar math. Our calendar math, which you can see behind me and Mrs. Barnett, covers days of the week, months of the year. We talk about weather, and we count the days of school. And as any previous kindergarten family will tell you, the 100th day of school is a big deal in kindergarten. Then after that, we have a mini lesson, and the mini lesson is a chance for us to focus on the concept that we're studying at that time, and it's the application of a strategy that we are learning, whether it's counting strategies or later on in the year, problem-solving strategies or calendar techniques. Then, just like in reading, we go into group instruction. We have a small group, which is daily teacher-led groups of 3 to 6 peers focusing on skills. It is data-driven, targeted instruction, and we focus on the VKRP, exit tickets, and observation at this time, and that drives our groups. And just like in reading, they change. Then we also have independent work. This is what students are doing while they're not meeting with a teacher or an assistant. They can be games, hands-on activities, or Dreambox. Then at the very end of math, we come back together as a group and we have what's called a math reflection. And we do this at the end of every math to come back and think about what we learned, because this gives us a chance to learn from each other and to share our own thinking. It's also a chance for us as teachers to see who didn't get what, and if we need to readjust groups to make sure everyone's needs are being met. And the way we start that off is, today I learned, and we share from there. So now we're going to have Mrs. Bobechko come on and talk about our content blocks.
All right, thank you so much. As you can see on this slide, we cover a lot of things in science in kindergarten. We talk about the 5 senses, we learn about weather and seasons, matter, pushes and pulling, shadows, earth resources, and plants and animals, and the way that they change over time. So these are just some of the things we're going to cover with your kids this year in science. All right, and in social studies, we focus on differing perspectives. We want to be culturally responsive. We talk about civics, what's the role of a student in our community, our school community, or our neighborhood. We focus on geography, teaching the kids, helping them to figure out where in the world they are. We spend a lot of time working on history. What did life look like long ago? And also economics. So these again are just some of the things we'll be teaching your students, your children this year in social studies. All right, here's where I get my quiz because I'm new to Nottingham. So the rest of your day, the rest of your child's day is specials. And boy, are they excited for their specials. In my class, they ask all day, when is PE? When is art? What's our special today? We're very lucky to have so many wonderful specials teachers. Our PE teacher for the entire grade is Mr. Gisto. The librarian is Mrs. Gustafson. Your child will either have Mrs. Achille or Ms. Gerard for music, and they'll either have Ms. Zoller or Ms. Heron for art.
And I think, and we just to let you know, we are a responsive classroom school. This is our behavior management system, and we just believe that teaching should emphasize social and emotional and academic growth, both. We use building relationships to foster community, and the CARES mnemonic there, those are the kind of the ideals that we try and teach our kids every day: cooperation, assertiveness, responsibility, empathy, and self-control. Next slide. And attendance. I know this can be confusing in kindergarten, so we just wanted to make sure we included a slide about that. We love spending time with your kids every day, but we know they're not necessarily going to be able to make it to school every day for different reasons. In the event that they are absent, or if you're late to school, please email your child's teacher, as well as our attendance office at attendance.ntm@groups.apsva.us. That I think is, I believe that's in our newsletter. So if you're looking for that email, it's there. And we just want to thank you for coming. We know it's always hard to find time in the day. and it's kind of difficult in the evening to come out and talk about school. If you have any questions, please go ahead, email us at the following emails. And I believe we do have time for some Q&A now. Is that right, Mr. Jones?
Yes, so that's the end of the formal kindergarten back to school night presentation. But there's an opportunity to ask questions now while we have all three of the teachers, as well as Dr. Lynch has been able to pop in. So for a little while we have her, if you have a question for her or for me involving school counseling issues. Right now, there are no questions that have been posted, but I'll give people maybe a minute or so, because I know sometimes it takes a little bit of time to process and come up with what you want to ask. So we'll wait here and give you a chance to think of something. You can post the question in the area that says of the teams that says question mark, and I'll read the question. And also I'll just add that Ms. Dina Lewin is here. She's popped back in from first grade, so if you have a question for her, she'll be able to answer that. All right, so for the group, question that we have is, should we expect any field trips for kindergarten? Ms. Barnett, you want to take that?
Dr. Lynch, I think I'm going to have to hand that one to you. I haven't heard anything about field trips in particular.
I haven't either, but that is a great question. I will find out. I feel like I read something a long time ago, like over the summer, about field trips for this upcoming year, but as always, things change. So I will find updated information, and I will ask Eileen to put it in next week's nightly news, because that would be pertinent to other grade levels as well. I do know that there are a couple field trips that are sort of like the standard expected field trips for grade levels, like in third grade, they do outdoor labbing again in fifth grade, and there's a Jamestown field trip in fourth grade, and I've heard those are happening, but I'm not sure about some of the other field trips that we traditionally fit in. So I will find out, and we will update everybody in the nightly news.
All right, thank you. So the next question is, if my child can perform certain tasks, so reading, addition, subtraction, should we as parents communicate that to the teacher, or is that something you'll be assessing in the near future? What's the best way to handle that? Who would like to
take that? So we will be assessing we have state required assessments that we are required to perform no matter what level your child is at. That being said, I would think that the time that would be best for me to hear about what your child can and cannot do is going to be at that parent-teacher conference, which is right around the corner. But that's your time to share with me, in person, one-on-one, a devoted time period that we're going to be able to talk specifically about your child. And I think that's the best place for me to get my information.
Okay. And Ms. Barnett, I will just let you handle the next one as well. When and how do students select what they want from school lunch? Do they go to the cafeteria and see what looks good, or do they have to select in advance, sight unseen?
So currently with the COVID protocols, there's one lunch being served, and that's what you get. And
yeah, I'll just add that there's a couple of choices sometimes, like there might be a cold choice and a hot choice, but there's no pre-selection. You don't order in advance, you just look at it as you go through the line.
Well, so our kids aren't going through the line in kindergarten.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah, so our kids aren't going through the, now later, hopefully we're going to be getting back to a more natural kind of cafeteria style, and when we do go to the cafeteria in the past, there have been choices, but currently there's only one lunch being served. You might have a choice between cheese and pepperoni pizza or something like that, but generally we're getting one lunch choice.
Okay. Ms. Moore, I will turn to you on this one. How can parents be the most helpful to you and the others as teachers?
Well, for me, I would say let us know if your child is having an off day, if, maybe, for example, if a pet has passed away or if they've just had a bad morning, give us a heads up so we can help your child and we know what's up. Sometimes, Laura, I'm gonna use my name, Laura comes in sad and I might not be able to get it out of her. But if you send an email saying, hey, she had a rough night, had a hard time falling asleep, then I know how to approach. Because kindergartners are naturally very shy at the beginning of the year. They're not all going to come up and say, I didn't sleep last night. So make sure you let us know if something's different. If something's up or if you have a question, please send us an email. That's the quickest way to get a hold of us. If you want us to give you a call or whatever, just shoot us an email so we can get the conversation rolling. You can join.
I'm just going to pop in. Very often we notice that something's wrong with the kid and we don't know. And then we find out later, oh, dad went away on the business trip.
Yeah, sorry, thank you.
Mom's away visiting her cousin Sally. These things, they all kind of, kindergartners take all this in and they shoot it back out into the world. And so very often we can notice that something is off. And even if your contact is afterward and say, hey, I didn't think about this, but something was different at my house last night. And sometimes it's just like, oh, okay, that's it. And so that's what really, just keeping the communication open is probably the best way to help us.
Yeah, open communication. If tell us so we know and we can help.
All right, Ms. Moore, we'll stick with you for the next one. Will we have an idea of the content that kids are learning each day so we can ask them about it each day when they come home?
So we have our newsletter and we tend to put those things in our newsletter. We usually cover what we've covered over the course of the week. We do try to tweet a little bit as well, that kind of give you an insight to what's going on. But most of that information will come from the newsletter.
All right, I'll switch to Ms. Barnett for a couple of questions. Tag team here. When are the state required assessments?
So those will mostly be in early October.
Okay. What are the guidelines for birthday celebrations?
So each classroom, I think, does something different. I can tell you that so all three classrooms, nobody is allowed food for birthday celebrations. We have a lot of food allergies and a lot of dietary concerns that we need to be careful with. And as a result, we just don't do food parties. That being said, we celebrate birthdays in different ways. And I know that I've already had a couple of parents reach out to me with some September birthdays. And I've told them what I would have liked for them to do. And I think your teacher will reach out to you with a specific plan for the birthdays as they come up.
Okay, and when will times be posted to have parents pick a spot for parent-teacher conferences?
I don't know. Dr. Lynch, do you have an idea on that?
Hi there. Probably a couple weeks before the conference takes place. So I would expect you'll see like a Sign Up Genius or like a Google Doc, and you can enter your preferred time slot.
All right. Let's see. Ms. Moore, I'll let you handle a couple. A parent says that their child's not talking a lot about how things are going in class. Is there a way to get periodic feedback at a higher frequency than the teacher conferences, like biweekly folders or other updates?
So we do daily red folders, and that's when and we send those home every day, whether there's something in or something out. I would just email us chat with us, see what's going on. If they have neighborhood friends, maybe talk with them as well. But the newsletters are always a good way to go. We always have all of our information in the newsletters, and the red folders do go home every day, and they should come back every day. And if you need to send a note in, or if you have a question about something, you could send it in through that note as well.
All right. Do students need headphones for their iPad?
No.
And there's a question that I will take for myself, but if any of the kindergarten teachers want to answer it from a kindergarten perspective, but the question is, will there be programs like Lunch Bunch happening this year? So counseling groups in terms of if you're thinking about lunch bunches in that sense, I have in the past had lunch with, I've tried to have lunch with all of the kindergartners about 4 times during the year. And it's, we do a little talking about emotions and counseling related things, but it's also just a kind of get to know you social activity so that I can understand them a little bit better and they can be comfortable with me. So I do hope to have an opportunity to do that. It's a little more challenging this year, as is everything else with COVID, but it won't be happening right away, but I am hoping to do that. Is there something else to add to that for you all?
No, that sounds good.
Okay. Let me see. If a child has to miss a day of school, can we find out what they're learning to supplement at home?
What do you think, Mrs. Barnett?
I can take that one. So if a child misses a day at school, I wouldn't worry too much about it. We can get them caught up at home. I'm assuming if they're missing a day, it's because they're sick or not feeling well. And I would rather that child stay home and rest and be ready to come back full strength for the academic challenges that we're gonna bring home with them.
And there's a question about, is there going to be an opportunity for parents to and kids and teachers to interact during the year? I'll just say that you know, what the future holds in terms of all of those parameters and limitations is something that I don't think any one of us know. There are certain things outdoors, like we're having an ice cream social. There'll be a spring festival and some other opportunities, but it's not clear that, you know, when or if we will be able to have anything inside. And there's a question about allergies. Does nut-free mean no nuts for lunch, like peanut butter sandwiches, or just snacks?
So nut-free in my classroom means nut-free. We have several allergies this year, and it's a little risky to be bringing anything in to the classroom.
Okay. And right now, let's see, I have another question. Will parents be able to have any opportunities to read to the class?
I can take that. If this is a time when you would contact your teachers, things might be coming out later in the year. But if it is, it'll be virtual, more than likely, just to keep it consistent. And it works very well. If you go on Twitter, you can see Mrs. Barnett has had one, and it is a very efficient way to do it. And it's a great way for the kids to enjoy and see their grown-up in the classroom.
Okay. And Ms. Moore, if there is the unfortunate need for anybody to quarantine, will work be sent home?
I might need to pass that one to Dr. Lynch, but I think stuff will come.
Hey there. I can chime in. Yes, some work could be sent home. It will not be like last year where you get like a full school day's worth of work sent for your student. And there will be no like concurrent learning. So your student would not like log in virtually while they are quarantining at home, but there will be work sent home for your child to complete while quarantining. And if there's a situation where, you know, your child is sick or a close contact, public health will be like the main point of contact for you in terms of like return to school and what the procedures are, because every situation is so unique and different, and we will defer to public health to kind of guide us in the right decision. But in terms of work, yes, you can expect some work for your student to work on if they're feeling up for it. But if they're really struggling, don't make them go through any Lexia if they're not feeling up to it.
And later on, we do get the iPads, and that will be a place also where students will have access to work.
All right, and right now, I think the last question that I see is more, how do you think kids are doing with their mask? How are they doing with that?
They're awesome. They wear them very consistently in the classroom. They are very good about swapping them. We eat lunch outside. I'm sure if you've driven by at lunchtime, you've seen us. And they lower them and they put them back up when they're done. So A+ to the kindergartners for their mask wearing. Make sure you tell your kiddo that for us.
Yeah, kudos to the parents, the families at home for getting them ready for that, because I would chime in the same way, and I've seen it across the grade levels. It's quite impressive how consistent and compliant they are with mask wearing. Really don't see any problems with that. That's all the questions that I see. So I think everybody must have had a chance to ask things. It's about 15 minutes before 8, which means that you've got a little break before the next event, which is the PTA meeting. And just to remind you, if you didn't join right on time, that is a Zoom link. I did try to publish it as an announcement. And if you don't have that, it was sent by the kindergarten teachers in an email. If you don't have that, it's in the PTA email from today. So you can join the PTA meeting at 8 o'clock through the Zoom link. It's not through this Teams meeting. Appreciate everybody coming. Sorry that we can't see each other face to face, but hopefully we'll have some opportunities to do that in some fashion outside or otherwise in the near future. And, as the school counselor, please let me know if you think there's anything that I can help with. I'm happy to consult or assist in any way. And I know the teachers are the same way. We're all sort of social, emotional counselors on a certain level. So hope you have a good school year and see you soon. Bye.
Bye, everyone.
Thank you, everybody.
Thank you. Good night.